November 2nd. Can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Gomez?
Here.
Commissioner Jimenez?
Here.
Commissioner Lopez?
Here.
Vice Chair Shively?
Here.
Chair Hammond? Absent.
We can have a moment, brief moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance from Commissioner Gomez. We have no presentations. Does anybody have any items on the consent calendar or the Planning Commission meeting minutes for October 19th? I'm just going to review one thing real fast. So the only thing I saw in here is the commissioners are noted twice. We spoke about it a little bit earlier, but we have roll call commissioners present, the four of us, and then again, the commissioner members present. We were listed twice. I'm not sure if that's an item that, it's not a huge item, but it just looks like a typo.
We can make those changes.
Okay. Anybody else have any items for the meeting minutes for October 19th?
None.
Okay. Commissioner Lopez? No? Okay. If there is none, can we have a motion?
Vice Chair Shively, if I may, I recommend opening for public comment.
Yes, ma'am. We open up for public comment for the consent calendar or public comment. There's any member of public wishing to speak on the consent calendar may do so at this time. Any member on Zoom wishing to do so?
No, sir.
Thank you. So just as a reminder, if I can step back before I go further, if need be, we do have assisted listening devices and translation devices. Just let us know if you need them, and one can be provided for you. Okay, if seeing no one wants to comment on the consent calendar, we'll go ahead and close the public comment. If the commissioners don't have any additional items on the consent calendar, if we can have a motion?
No, but can I ask if we can make that announcement in Spanish as well? Because we're offering services for interpretation in English, and if they don't, if they need
I'll be
support.
glad if you can translate it for me in Spanish
Okay.
or teach me it. I'll be glad. I'll be glad to do my best.
Just because we're offering services in English, and if they need,
They need the Spanish
they
translation
may
as
not
well.
know that that's available.
So please teach me that later, and I'll do my best next
We'll write
time.
you a little script.
Okay.
Queremos avisar a nuestro público que si necesitan servicio de interpretación, tenemos los auriculares disponibles. Así que si lo necesitan, muchísimas gracias.
Thank you. Okay, if we can have a motion. We got a motion for Commissioner Lopez. And a second from Commissioner Gomez.
Commissioner Gomez,
Yes.
Commissioner Jimenez,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez,
Yes.
Vice Chair Shively.
Yes?
With 4 yeses and 0 nos, this motion passes.
We can move to item 7A, Specific Plan Amendment SPA 21-05125, a proposed specific plan amendment to update the Green Valley Specific Plan, GVSP, for consistency with the Paris Valley Airport Land Use Compatibility Plan, the PV-ALUC-P, and the compliance with Senate Bill 330. The applicant is Matthew Villalobos and Raintree Investment Corporation. The requested action is a continuance off the calendar of this item. So is there any member of public wishing to speak on this item? Is there any member of Zoom?
No, sir.
Okay. I'll go ahead and close public comment. Is there any discussion that's needed for this item on planning commissioners?
None for me.
No? Okay. So if we could have a motion for continuation off the calendar on this item. We had a motion for Commissioner Jimenez. Second from Commissioner Gomez.
Commissioner Gomez,
Yes.
Commissioner Jimenez,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez,
Yes.
Vice Chair Shively.
Yes.
Thank you. With 4 yeses and 0 nos, this motion passes.
Item 7B is Development Plan Review, DPR 20-00007. It's proposal to construct a 9,300 square foot, 2-story truck repair shop on .64 acres situated in the southeast corner of Western Way and West Jetway in the GI General Industrial Zone of the Paris Valley Commerce Specific Plan. The applicant is Jonathan Zane. The action is requested for adopt resolution number 20-23, finding the project in category exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act pursuant to section 15332 infill development projects of the CEQA guidelines, as the project will not have a significant effect on the environment, and approving the DPR 20-00007 to construct and operate a 9,300 square foot 2-story truck repair shop based on the findings contained in the staff report and subject to the recommended conditions of approval. Do we have any ex parte communications?
I drove by the site.
Thank you. Commissioner Lopez?
None for me.
Gomez?
None for me.
And none for me as well. If we can have presentation.
Thank you, Chair, for the introduction. Good evening, members of the Planning Commission, staff, and members of the public. As mentioned, this evening we have before you the Garcia Mechanic Shop Project, DPR 20-00007. The project site is located in the northern part of the city. It's located within the Paris Valley Commerce Center specific plan with a general industrial land use designation. It's also surrounded by other general industrial land use designations to the north, south, and to the east with all existing businesses. And we have light industrial to the west. Here's a site photo along Western Way looking east to the project site. Here's an image along Jetway looking south to the project site. And here we have a view along Western Way, looking east at the project site towards the right, and the street that you see before you is Jetway. As mentioned, this evening we have a proposed 9,300 square foot, two-story industrial building on 0.64 acres. There are 2 points of access to the site. The site along Jetway will be a right in and a left out for trucks. And along Western Way, there will be a right in and a left out designation for automobiles or domestic automobiles, if you will. The project site also proposes a decorative trash enclosure, as well as 11.13% landscaping, which exceeds the 10% as mentioned in the PVCC zone. Staff provided a landscape palette and a color rendering illustrating the different landscape that will be proposed. Staff also took snippets of the plant palette that's being proposed to give the commission a better idea and a better sense of the type of plants that will be proposed for the site. As you can see, the desert willow, holy oak, coast rosemary, orchid rock rose are all drought tolerant, low water consumption plants, but thrive within the area and provide much coverage. With respect to the industrial development standards, it meets and exceeds them as far as building height, floor area ratio, coverage, setbacks. With respect to the parking standards, we meet the parking criteria with an additional 1 space of surplus parking as well. These are the 2 building elevations being provided. The image on top is the elevation along Jetway. Again, the architecture being proposed for this project is modern. The building uses a combination of varying roof lines and projecting vertical walls with recessed windows, and is also proposing stone veneer at the corners of the building. The color palette ranges from different colors and shades of tans and browns, which we believe complements the stone veneer nicely. And it also helps provide additional visual interest to the building overall. The image at the bottom is the south elevation that will be shared with the existing metal shop. These 2 elevations illustrate the west. The top image is the elevation that will be seen along Western Way, which fronts the offices of the building. And the image at the bottom is the interior image, which will be the east elevation, which part of the building will share a perimeter wall, if you will, with the existing business to the east. With that said, staff's recommendation this evening is for the Planning Commission to adopt PC Resolution 2223, approving the Development Plan Review 20-0006, as it is exempt from further environmental quality review as illustrative pursuant to the section 15332 for infill development, and approving DPR 20-0007 based on the findings and subject to the conditions of approval. And that concludes my presentation. This evening we have Ms. Sylvia Quiroz and Mr. Jonathan Zane, who are the project architects, as well as the applicants, owners of the business are here this evening as well to provide further clarification if the commission needs it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any questions for staff?
This is Commissioner Lopez. My first question is in regards to the description of the lights fixtures.
So it says here there's 1 foot candle illuminations for the parking lot and for the pedestrian areas. Is that going to be ground level, or are they going to be like light posts?
There are some light posts throughout the site, but there's a 90-degree angle cutoff. So all the light should only shine downwards, not provide light pollution, if you will. It will spill over to the adjacent parcels
So, and what about
or upwards.
and what about the parking lot? It's going to have its own fixtures?
Correct.
Okay. I have another question in regards to, okay, so I saw that the city requested an increase in height for the pilasters on the wall. Is that something that's going to be included by the applicant, or we still need to request that?
No, that will be part of the conditions of approval. Are
it's
you
already
referencing
included.
the columns will be the same height as? Yes, correct.
Yes. Okay, and what's the height increase that they're going to be adding?
I believe it's at 6'8", Mr. Zhang, but I'll have him clarify that.
It says it's going to include decorative caps. Is that going to include lighting as well, or?
No, just the cap on top.
Got you. I have my next question is in regards to the sidewalk. So I see there's a lot of landscaping along the sidewalk, but is that going to be on the inside of the wall or outside? I can't really tell from the design.
There will be some landscaping along the right-of-way. So there will be parts where you'll have the sidewalk, you'll have some landscaping, then you'll have the
And
wall, and you'll have
the
landscaping again.
trees are going to be placed on the inside of the wall, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I have another question in regards to signage. Is the company planning on having signage for the name of the company?
I'm assuming so, but that wasn't discussed in the project review. Usually signage is a separate review with
Okay.
staff.
But they're able to put whatever type of design they want, or?
As long as it conforms with the sign criteria in the municipal code.
Okay. All right, that concludes my questions for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Jimenez?
Thank you. My question is, where is the division between truck parking or truck spacing that are being repaired and vehicle and passenger vehicle?
For parking? If you see along Jetway and in the driveway entrance, there are spaces dedicated for trucks to be staged. And the remainder is a typical 19-foot length parking stall for a domestic vehicle.
Okay, and you said it's right in, left out for the big rigs. Is there anything that we can set up? Did we look at dividing so that the trucks can't travel and exit on Western Way, or trucks can't travel up and exit on Jetway?
Good evening, Vice Chair Shively, Commissioners. For this, is actually the trucks won't be able to make the turn to go out on Jetway. I'm sorry, on
Western?
Western Way. And that driveway is limited, is only 26 feet in width.
Okay,
So that's how we restricting trucks going in and out of that driveway from Western Way.
okay.
They get the circulation going on to Jetway to, for ingress and egress.
Okay. But the fire engine, the route was including both, right? I saw the conditions. There was a image with the
Yeah.
emergency vehicle. Where is it? I just saw it.
Fire access?
Fire access.
path?
So fire engine can get through.
Oh, I didn't see that, but
Yeah, it was.
presumably, yeah.
I think for us, on the email we got, it was page, I can't see it. This one, it was in our documents that got sent home too. Do you see it,
I do.
Vice Chair Shively?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so that's the fire engine will still have full access, and that would be the route. But you're saying, so remind me why trucks can't access Western Way big rigs? Because most times when somebody gets their big rig repaired, it's only the cab and not cab and trailer.
That's correct. But we, the attempt is to actually restrict truck access from Western Way by limiting the width of the driveway, per our engineering conditions. So,
But that would only, it's only limiting if they have a trailer, right?
Trailer,
Because a cab,
correct.
and like I said, when big rig usually take their cars, trucks to be repaired, is usually the cab only. And a cab can make an ingress and egress at any
driveway,
driveway.
correct. They can make that turn. That's right.
So that's why I'm asking, is there a way to limit or block or have something so that they can't access that?
The only way would be actually, application of a gate of some sort to restrict that movement. Yeah.
And it would have, that's why I was asking like where it was, because it looks like it's pretty, at the end of the building, it's almost a straight up where the last stall is. So I don't know if we would be able to install some kind of gate there just to ensure that, or be more preventative, because I know a cab can make a turn using a regular driveway. So is that something that we can request?
Maybe we can clarify with the applicant further how the truck repair shop operates. Maybe that will help respond to that question. I think from a engineering standpoint, we don't want the trucks to be blocking Western Way because there's auto and trucks that comes up that street. We just want them to get on Jetway to get off of that major roadway because Harley Knox is the truck route. And there are industrial buildings north of Western Way, and we just want them to get off that roadway, and auto can.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking if we can block it, so we completely block Western Way for them completely. If we have a gate dividing.
Oh, just separating the two, so
Yes.
that one side is for trucks. Okay.
Yeah, completely
Oh,
having
okay,
like
okay.
the division there, not blocking them or having rerouting, just blocking it off completely so that trucks can access the auto and auto can't access truck.
Another option.
Sorry, Commissioner, just a thought. The project is a truck repair shop. So it's not the same as a warehouse where you have an office area and a warehouse. And I can see the conflict when we have access to both from the same drive aisle. In this case, the business is a truck yard, a truck repair shop. So the intent is to have trucks come in to be serviced into the shop and also the vehicles. But I think the intent is for trucks to be there. And maybe like Kenneth indicated, it may be a good idea to have the applicant clarify that for us. Because since that's the main part of the business, we should be able to allow the trucks to be able to come in and take access from Western and be able to access the repair shop.
So we're saying that Western is also gonna be for trucks? Because it says auto.
Yeah.
It's not designed that way right now, but the way it's designed right now, clarify me, John, is auto is for Western Way and trucks is for Jetway. But I think it would be good to ask the applicant who understands the operation better than
Okay.
we do.
Okay,
And the applicant would like to expand upon that when the moment comes.
okay, perfect. My second question was, can we go back to the elevations? I want to see what is visible from the street, because they're going to have 7-foot fences, is what we said. So, here, the north Jetway elevation, is that going to be visible from the street?
Yes.
So the roll-up doors are going to be visible from the street?
The roll-up doors? Yeah, part of it, yes.
Okay. And the south elevation, you said that's backing into the business, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Can we go to the next ones?
Yeah.
And then Western Way, that is gonna be what we see when we drive
Along Western Way.
along Western Way?
Yes.
The east elevation, we're not gonna have visibility from the street, right?
Correct. It will be on the, almost on the property line, butting up against the existing business to the east.
Okay. Remind me, in the warehouses and area around here, what's the fencing height? Because if it's 7 foot, I know big rigs are a lot taller than that, or what is the standard? Is there a standard across?
The PVC criteria only has a 14-foot high forward screening of trailers.
And, okay, and this is a repair shop, so we won't have
Correct.
trailers here at all times. Okay, so it doesn't have anything for repair shops per se?
No.
Okay. That's it for now. Thank you.
Commissioner Gomez?
No questions for me. Thank you.
So my question is both on the elevation and the floor plan. On the northern side of the building, there is a area that doesn't have a door or anything. So the north elevation on the left-hand side, there's a place that looks like it's just recessed back, but it is, I understand it as being recessed back, but if you look at the plans, it's recessed back all the way the length of the building. What is the reasoning, or what do they plan on using that space for?
That's a wash bay.
Wash bay? Okay. Do they intend to store any broken trucks or unmobile trucks in the parking lot area overnight?
I don't believe so, but I'll let the applicant owner
Okay.
expand upon
And I
that.
guess that, my follow-up question would be, are they gonna be storing some all interior behind the garage doors, or some of them gonna be, parked in their spots? But those are my questions.
Do you know what the elevation of the roll-up doors is? The height?
12 feet, 16 feet.
24, no, 16?
I apologize, I don't have the full set of size plans. 14.6?
14.
14 feet, 6 inches.
You know how tall a cab is? I can't remember. I know they're tall because,
No, you got me there.
Trailers are-
That I don't know.
because they're usually the height of the trailer,
Something.
even with the little cab part on top, yeah.
They're definitely lower than 14 feet because our wall height is 14 to block up the full view of the truck.
Okay,
So
all right. Thank you.
Any follow-up question for staff?
I wanted more clarification on that little thing that you were talking about.
Okay.
On this screen, on the left-hand side, on the jetway elevation.
Mm-hmm.
What was that recessed area for?
It's so they can get a truck in there so they can wash it.
So is there gonna be a door there, a gate, or?
There wasn't, as far as my understanding, there wasn't to screen it. It's only temporary to bring in a truck, wash it, drive it away.
Okay, I'm not understanding. So it looks recessed, does that mean it's open? Because
Correct.
it's the same color as the, I think
Yes.
because it's the same color as the wall?
Correct, yeah, so just that still protrudes back, and what you're looking at is a back wall, if you will, of the building.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I understand. Okay.
Maybe the floor plan, if,
The floor plan was clearer, but I was like, okay, on the
Yeah.
floor plan, I was seeing one thing and there was seeing another. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, perfect. Okay.
And they can fit 2 trucks in each of those bays, correct? Is that deep enough for that, I'm sure?
I believe so.
Any further questions for staff? Nope. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Zane, do you wish to do a presentation?
Yes, please. Good evening. I'm Jonathan Zane, architect. My office is 5033 Arlington Avenue in Riverside, California. And my clients and I are very happy to be here tonight. I was a much younger man when we started this project. We actually had an approval from Planning Commission a few years ago, but things happen, and COVID and other things. And anyway, we're happy to be here tonight and seeing you approve this. I would be happy to answer any of the questions that you are posing to staff that you don't feel is adequately answered. First of all, I would like to make a statement. Garcia Truck does not work on big rigs with trailers. They're mostly box trucks, you know, and so, and the 3 bays have depth enough to have 2 trucks in each bay. So they can have 6 trucks inside at night. They don't make you know, most of the trucks are clients, and they bring them to the Garcias, they fix them and they leave. They don't, they're not gonna be storing a bunch of trucks out on the parking lot. If there are a couple overnighters, that will be the rarity, okay? But I'd be happy to answer any other questions.
Commissioner Lopez?
This is Commissioner Lopez. My first question is in regards to like the working conditions inside the garage area. Because I'm assuming the roller doors are going to be open during business hours. Are you guys having anything to do with ventilation, like fans, industrial
Oh,
fans
yeah,
or something?
the code requires that when you're working on vehicles, you have to have an exhaust system to draw, you know, if they start the truck up or drive it in and out, we don't want the exhaust, you know, going in the building. And so we have exhaust fans on the roof that extract the exhaust fumes and other things.
And what about for the employees? Is there going to be like an industrial fan to ventilate the air inside?
Well, the doors are usually open during the day when they're working, so there's a lot of ventilation. I'm a little hard of hearing, so I'm not quite sure I heard everything you said.
No, that's fine. You understood.
Okay.
Another question is, you guys, the proposed landscape plan has 11.3%.
Yes.
Are you willing to add more landscaping to it? Maybe like adding
Well,
trellises?
we've actually exceeded the minimum, correct? I mean, we're over what you guys require. So you know, every tree you plant, there's not another parking place for a truck. So this is a small lot for its use. And so I think we're happy with what we are giving you.
I
Say
understand.
that
I
more
understand.
tactfully.
Yeah, I understand you're meeting the criteria, but
But
I
if
would
you
just
look
like
at
to
that,
see
if you
more.
look at that landscape plan, you know, we're planting trees that are gonna be, you know, shade trees. And, you know, it's gonna be the greenest project on that street, I can assure you.
Okay, are you willing to add more trees maybe along the sidewalk area? Because right here, it looks like you have 3 on each side of the street.
Well, I hired a very good landscape architect, and he's the one that came up with the size and the number of trees. Now, on the street, that is dictated by city code. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 large trees in the right-of-way, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the property. So, I mean, that's a lot of trees.
Okay. And what about lighting for the landscaping? Do you know if you guys?
We have general landscaping lighting, which is, I'm sorry, we have general parking lot lighting, which has, we have what they call wall packs on the building, which shine, they're directed so they don't spill out and shine across the street. It's designed to stay within our property. And then we have street light type parking lot lights, and that lights everything up. And so we're not putting any Malibu lights by the trees or anything like that, but it'll be lovely.
Okay, that concludes my questions for now.
You
Thank
bet.
you.
Commissioner Jimenez?
Thank you. My question is, the color palette is beautiful, but I think the color Regency Cream kind of clashes with everything. I don't know if you're open to changing that color.
Which one?
Regency Cream, like the main color of the building. So on this color palette, it's this very first one, like the orangey one.
That's kind of not the color it really is. It's not.
Is it?
No, it's printed badly.
Oh, it's printed badly.
That looks pretty pink.
Yeah.
And if you look at the.
It's like a beige.
Yeah,
more of
it's
beige.
more of a tan beige.
Okay. Oh, yeah, because I looked at this one, I was like, yeah, that's not pretty.
But if you approve it tonight, I'll come over and bring
Bring
you
me
a sample. You pick it out.
Okay, well, okay, I'll take your word that it's not this.
It's not that pink.
Pinkish, okay.
I promise.
The only other thing is, there's beautiful, what is it, the block wall on the other side where we have the windows, and the side where we have the bay where we wash the trucks. It looks a little bit, it doesn't look as beautiful as it does on the other side without the accent brick on top too.
Yeah, we have a stone veneer on the tower, if you will. Mm-hmm. And we have those little columns that support the stucco cornice.
Yeah.
But it is deceiving because that's a dark hole.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't look as plain as what the picture looks like because it looks like it's all one big color. But it's I should have colored it black to show that that's tunnel. And again, you can get 2 trucks in there and wash them at one time. And, I mean, we could put a gate in front of it or something like that.
It's more the top because it's beautiful and because you see it from the street.
Okay, you
Like, making it, because it's beautiful on the right-hand side with the windows. And I know we can't have windows on the left because it's a hole.
Yeah.
But the top looks,
So you want stone on the top of that?
if we
too.
would, just to make it match the other side, it would look really, really pretty.
Would you be willing to put stone over the top? Or?
I was thinking probably like canopies.
Yeah.
Yeah, or working with staff. I don't know if some staff can come up with something nice too that isn't.
Well, my client said that he would be happy to put the stone over that too,
Okay.
so they'll kind of balance.
Thank you. And I did have a question about the flow of traffic and just, we're really big at kind of preventing, and I appreciate you clarifying that there's not a lot of big rigs, it's mostly
Right,
box trucks.
right. Well, let me go back to, there we go. Thank you. The truck entrance, when they come in, they turn right, and they can go straight into the bay and be worked on, and then they back out. If they need to park them, there's big spaces to the left of that entrance. And that's where the trucks would be parked if they're waiting for parts and have another truck on the rack. We also go out that way, and we do have gates, so at night it's secure. And so going out that way, you turn left. The cars come in on the other side, and that's where the customers and the employees will park their cars. And so it's kind of naturally separated. We don't want to put any interior gates between the two. That would only piss off the firemen. They want to be able to pull in there and fight the fire if there is one. So we think it flows beautifully. And I've only been doing this for 42 years, so I think it's great the way it is.
Yeah, no, and I understand, but we have kind of set up that limitation. My husband's a big rig driver, so I've seen a lot of accidents where, little cars think they can squeeze in on the right and the big rig is turning. So so we try to do a lot to prevent those things and having commingling of vehicles.
Well, once again, we
and
don't
all
have
that.
big rigs, we have box trucks.
And that makes a big
And
difference.
they're nice drivers.
Okay. So from your experience, you feel like this wouldn't be an issue of autos trying to access on
Again, the cars come
Jetway?
in one way and leave that way, and the trucks come in the other way and leave that way. So it's a natural separation.
Okay, because either way, if somebody wanted to go on Jetway to the right, they wouldn't be able to, even if they traveled up, they would still have to turn left.
Well, I mean, there's gonna be a sign there that says left turn only, but,
I mean, somebody
if
who's,
somebody wants to scoff the law, they could turn right. I mean, there's no reason
That
to
they wouldn't
stop
be able
them,
to.
but, the agreement is that we're gonna turn left.
okay. All right, I think those are my only questions for now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Gomez?
Thank you for the information so far and getting the clarification. My colleagues have done a really good job today of asking all the questions that we tend to really focus on here today, and thank you for answering those for us as
Yeah.
well. I like the idea about the veneer. I'm glad that got covered. Let's see. I was going to ask in regards to the landscape, but I think I found it. There's two, if we can go back, yes. So there's I was trying to decipher the difference between the desert willow, which is, I believe, the purple colored one, and then the green one on the corner. But I think the distinction, if you can confirm for me, but the difference between the green and the purple, or yeah, it looks like a purple, is just the color of the tree. Is that correct? The
Right,
blossom?
well, all the purple ones are the desert willow, which is it has a colorful flower. And it's not a dark green, it's more of a gray green. And again, my landscape architect's really an artist.
Yeah.
It'll be beautiful. And then the green trees are the holly oak. Those are the bigger ones.
The holly, but in the corner, if you notice there on the corner, there's three of them together. And I think the difference is one is a burgundy and the other one is an angel white.
Correct, Ms. Gomez.
Okay,
What you see here is only just some of the plant palette. There's
Yeah.
more trees that are still being proposed.
Oh, okay.
Except they all didn't fit on the slide.
okay.
But if we look at the plant palette within the
You know, the
preliminary
legend.
landscape plan, there are additional ground coverage other than the coyote brush. There are actually 2 different species of the rock rose, and there's another very similar to the desert willow that Mr. Zane was talking about. It's very colorful. It's got like a red flower, if you
Yeah,
will, very prickly. But there's more trees that are being proposed, and there's more bushes and more ground cover. But
Okay.
it didn't all quite fit here. This was, again, just to kind of give a visual illustration. But the plans do go into further detail as far as the spacing, the size, and how
Yeah.
many.
Thank you. I'm looking at the plant legend, and they're all on here.
Yes.
And I think that's what I figured out. I think you're correct. It's the white, the difference between the angel white and the burgundy lace, which is the same desert willow, is just a different color
You
of the
are
blossom.
correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank
Except
you.
we just couldn't get it all to fit in there, so.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
That's it for me.
Any questions, additional questions for applicant? No, thank you. Is there any member of public wishing to speak on this item this time? Do we have any Zoom members wishing to speak on this item?
No, sir.
See no member of public, we'll go ahead and close public comment at this time and bring it to the commissioners for discussion. Commissioner Lopez, I guess.
This project, it meets all the criteria, so it looks good. The one thing that I would want is more landscaping, of course, but I do understand that the applicant is meeting the standards that we have set for it. Especially along the sidewalk, that's like one of the main concerns for me. And besides that, I think it's okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Jimenez?
I had a couple of concerns, but I feel, and I'll go with my fellow commissioners on this one. We know we really like that division between trucks and cars. Having a box truck versus a bunch of big rigs does make a big difference with traffic flow. I also initially was thinking, since it's a left out, we could have some kind of like barrier or I don't know if that's still feasible depending, because I don't want to affect fire truck access. So I don't know if that was even feasible. I mean, if we're able to do that without impacting fire access, I would like to be able to implement something like that. If it would impact fire access or delay it, I would rather not, because it is a small location. I really like the landscaping. The palette that was selected is beautiful. It's perfect for where we're going with having those drought-resistant plants that really complement each other and the different levels. The color, I'm glad it's not that color. But no, I agree with Commissioner Lopez. It meets the criteria. They went above with the covering. I think that holly oak will give a really nice shade in those areas. So that's it for me.
Commissioner Gomez?
Thank you to staff and the applicant for the presentation today. I understand Commissioner Jimenez's concern regarding the flow of traffic and prevention of passenger vehicles versus the vehicles that are going to be serviced. However, I also see the other side, which is having access. These trailers or these trucks may be coming in on a tow truck or tow trailer, whatever that may be called. So they're going to need access to be able to come in on either side, depending on the size of the truck. So I do understand that, and it's a smaller location. I really hope that the applicant understands that it's our hope that there is no overflow of non-working trucks that end up being either parked in the parking lot in a space where it doesn't belong, or parked on the curb on the street where it doesn't belong. Just as a precaution that we're looking forward to and understanding that the operation of this business, I wish it to be successful. And it's definitely needed in the area. It's in the right area. It's in the right location. However, keeping it well-kept and, being on top of spills, cleaning up all of the hazardous wastes, et cetera, that goes along with having this type of business. There's the partnership that we're looking forward to with the city and the grounds that it's going to be on. I think it's going to be of great service to our trekking community. The wash, I do expect to see a lot of wash trucks. I really hope this does work, because this is something that is needed. And again, just with the prevention and knowing that, the overflow of non-operating trucks or even operating trucks that just should not be parked in the spaces they shouldn't be, to have, in hindsight, that's something that we hope will be adhered to according to city code and compliance, because something that we're very sticklers with. We're becoming very sensitive about, because we're trying to prevent it to become a problem. Not that it is a big problem. There's obviously issues, but let's prevent it to becoming an even bigger problem. So that's it for me.
I got a question for staff real fast. In the truck bay wash, is it required if they have the 2 trucks there for the water to be recycled?
I don't have an answer to that question, but
Can we pose that question and make sure that if it's required, that the equipment is in the facility to recycle the water, to do so?
yes, we can double check that. Or we can just put in a condition of staff to verify if the car wash facility would need
Required.
recycled water.
Okay, we can add that in there. I'll be okay with that. I follow suit with my fellow commissioner, Commissioner Jimenez, on the exterior elevation of the truck bay side. It's, for one, the presentation of it is hard to get the actual feeling of the truck, that it's actually recessed so far back in there, the whole depth of the elevation, that adding additional stone, the stone cap would probably break it up a little bit as well. In reality, that area is going to be shaded as you look into it. I do like the fact that the truck bay side is actually on Jetway, away from the main drive of Western. I really appreciate that too. Looking at that, as I think it's much better to look at a nice face of a building than the roll-up doors of a facility, especially at this scale, being for truck bays, being 12, 14 feet wide by 14 feet higher. So I really appreciate it that it's turned at a degree that it's not being visible as visible from the street. I do piggyback as well on the separation of the trucks. I wish that could be more achievable, but it's such a tight design, and we're looking at the issues of fire truck access into the facility and out of the facility, and being able to maneuver the fire trucks as they're in that space as well. Having a third gate or a separation device is probably going to be prohibited for a truck to get it. So I understand the issue. I don't think there's a great solution to be able to separate it out. Other than that, I don't. I think it's the building itself, the concept itself, where it's located, it definitely fits. Fits the community and the desire. Being directly off Harley Knox, hope they get a lot of traffic and customers, and to be able to wash their trucks and to maintain new customers as they move forward. So I don't have any further comments.
I also want to add 3 of the 4 proposed trees were 24-inch boxes. If eligible, can we make them all 36 inches? Thank you.
We'll confirm. Do you want to make that a condition for all 36-inch box?
Yes, please.
Just a quick comment on that request by Commissioner Lopez. I don't know if you've noticed, but when they plant the bigger boxes, by next year they're like fully grown.
Yeah.
They make a big difference, and so I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay. So, any further comments I'd like to address? No? So if,
I'm sorry. I'm okay. Well, actually, can I just ask?
no, you said no.
Because I have a candy in my mouth, do I really want to speak with candy in my mouth? The limitation to make it like, not the pork chop, but a little thing, is that feasible, or is it something that would limit our fire?
The driveway at that location is only 26 feet wide, so for the truck to maneuver, we need that at a minimum. So if you put a channelizer, then that would prohibit the fire truck access.
That's what I thought. It makes me feel better to know that I asked and I got the answer. Thank you.
Okay, any others? So if we can have a motion for the development plan review DPR 20-00007, which is a proposal to construct a 9,300 square foot two-story truck repair shop on 0.64 acres situated on the southeast corner of Western Way and West Jet Way in the general industrial zone of the Paris Valley Commerce Specific Plan, with the inclusion of the following 3 items. The request that the staff review the truck wash equipment if it's required, the 36-inch box trucks, and staff working with the applicant regarding the front elevation of the truck wash bay. You got a motion from Commissioner Jimenez and a second from Commissioner Lopez.
Commissioner Gomez,
Yes.
Commissioner Jimenez,
Yes?
Commissioner Lopez,
Yes.
Vice Chair Shively.
Yes.
With a motion of 4 yeses and 0 nos, this motion passes.
This time, there's no business item. We can move to item 9, public comments. Anyone wishing to speak to address the planning commission regarding items not on the agenda may do so at this time. Seeing no member of public in attendance right now, is there any member in Zoom wishing to speak on anything other than?
No, Vice Chair Shively, there is not.
Okay, at this time, we'll go ahead and close public comment. Bring it to item 10, Commissioner members' announcements and reports. Commissioner Lopez?
This past weekend, I wasn't able to attend, but the city hosted the Harvest Festival and the Trunk or Treat event. I followed the social media pages, and I saw that it was a huge event, a huge turnout. A lot of the residents were able to come out and show off their costumes and spend time with the family. So I'm happy to see that turnout. Besides that, I hope everyone had a happy Halloween, and I want to thank staff for today's presentation. And I hope you all have a good night. Thank you.
Commissioner Lopez? Sorry, Commissioner Jimenez?
Same thing. I follow the social media for the city, and I love to see all the things that are happening, even though I can't be there physically sometimes. It feels really nice to see that we're so busy. There's so many great things coming our way. We do have a Veterans Day parade on Saturday, which I'm really looking forward to. We have our Christmas parade coming up too. And there's amazing things happening in our city, just things opening, the feel of community is really nice when you go out into our stores or restaurants. It's really nice to see a lot of community support. I know our local businesses, they do a lot of sponsorship for local schools, events, things like that. So it's nice to see that it works both ways. We go to their shops, we support them, and it's not like our money goes nowhere. They do give back a lot to the community. I know Pyology has hosted fundraisers for our school. Chipotle has done Yogurt Land. So it's great when we support local businesses because they really do go above and beyond in giving back to our community and our mostly our kids, which is, I think, who's the most important to all of us.
Commissioner Gomez?
Yes. Yeah, I agree. It's been really nice to see how the community's coming together, and there's all these activities that include everyone. But I would like to make an announcement as well. So tomorrow, the City of Paris and the Youth Advisory Committee, in partnership with the Association of Professionals and Students, is going to provide a free youth civic workshop from 5 to 6. There's going to be refreshments served. And, if you're a parent or, a young, community member anywhere, as a teenager, you want to know more about how your government works, there's going to be representatives from the different local government offices there and talk about how their offices function and also talk about the importance of voting. And so we have midterm elections coming up this next week, and we tend to focus on primary elections, but there's such an important vote that is a midterm vote that can definitely also make great changes. And so finding out what your local representatives do for you so that you can make a conscious decision and ask them questions even, it's going to be a great opportunity. This is something that's near and dear to my heart because I'm actually the co-director for the Association of Professionals and Students. And so Councilmember David Rabb has been very supportive when it comes to promoting these types of events. And the Youth Advocacy Committee and the City of Paris Community Services Department has been very open, and I'm very much looking forward to being there tomorrow. So if you guys can spread the word, share the link, that would be wonderful. I too am looking forward to our Veterans Day Parade this weekend. I hope I can make it. And stay warm, because apparently we got snow with this cold front that we have. Wow. And so it's pretty chilly out there. We'll probably get another heat wave, but, but I know, don't jinx it. But I might as well just say it so it doesn't happen. And then I wish everyone like a safe week and spending time with your family members. And so, and be careful, because this virus that's going around, the children are getting sick. Very sick. I've been seeing that it's been getting worse and it's kind of getting closer to home. So also something to take a precaution, we still go get vaccinated, get your flu vaccine if you can. I did, so I'm good. So, thank you.
Thank you. I too would actually like encourage everybody to go vote, and if you still have time to go get registered to vote, it's just it's a privilege and a right. It's not mandatory, but it should be someone's duty to do that for your community as well as your family. So I hope everybody takes a moment and either does the mail-in ballot or actually goes and votes at the actual location if they have an opportunity. That's all I have. Thank you. So we go to item 11, Director's Development Services.
Good evening, Chair and members of the Planning Commission. Just want to reiterate what you've already said. There's Veterans Memorial this weekend, so if you're able to join, that would be great. The next city activity is Take a Hike at Lake Paris. That is in 2 weeks on a Saturday. If you can attend that event, a good way to get some exercise. Just one quick update. We're getting a September's restaurant. They're kind of like a BJ's. They kind of started out in Rancho Cucamonga. They're going to go in the shopping center at the southern end of the city by Case and Ethan-Ack Road. I think they'll be in the area by the Corkies. So they got the building permit. So I'm not sure if they started yet, but they got the permit to start construction. So that's an exciting news. Beyond that, we won't have the Planning Commission on the 16th. So you can have a meeting off this month. But we anticipate having a meeting on December, I believe, 7th. So just put that on your calendar for now. And with that said, I don't have any further comment for this evening.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, if we can move for adjournment. Thank you.